Hello my friends, Mike here with Mike's Wilderness channel, and yeah, still in the midst of the COVID pandemic, and I'm in my favorite state park here, just going out for a quick hike. Been a long day of work, but it is Thursday, June 11th, and it's about 5:15, and yeah, decided to just get out. Now, despite there being such beautiful weather and blue skies and everything, there was nobody in the parking lot. I am the only one here, and yeah, taking advantage of it. So kind of going to enjoy this weather, and don't know how long I'm going to hike, but anyway, there's my introduction. And I'm going to go over here and check out some of these oak trees here at some point. Some interesting things up in the branches. Anyway, see you in a bit. Not sure if you heard that. I hope I got that recorded, but managed to see one doe and two fawns sitting in this swamp back here. As soon as I turned on the camera, I think the beep spooked her, and she ran off. The two fawns followed her. This is normally a little marsh, that little pond that has a lot of frogs in it, but it's not making much noise right now. Anyway, I'll have to listen to this when I get it into editing and see if we got that splashing of that deer and the two fawns. Well, if some of you surmised, I do like to follow the signs of nature from spring into summer and fall, and here's some jewelweed that's gotten quite large, just by comparison. There's my hand up against the top few leaves here, very large, and for its medicinal properties, to see them go from these tiny little plants to this whole group is really quite amazing. So yeah, kind of fun. You get a lot of the sopanins out of these leaves, and it'll give you some good medicinal properties to take advantage of. Alright, I'll keep moving. I'm always kind of amazed at what kinds of things get left behind when campers leave, and here looks to be some barbecue tongs. Nothing of any real value, but I'll leave it for the next person to come by. My best find one time in a campsite was a 12-inch cast iron frying pan skillet. Don't know why anybody would want to leave it behind, but anyway, there you go. Well, as you can see, the do not enter sign has been removed from this pit toilet here at the park. So they are allowing its use, just nothing in the main shower house. But if you saw in my earlier video, I'd posted up a little blurb about their park closing all these facilities, and looks like now they're open. There is a cardinal over there down in the grass. You catch a little bit of his red every once in a while, but I could see him a little closer, but I guess not. Here's what I can only surmise is probably some leftover coyote dung. It's probably a mixture of bunny fur and squirrel fur or something, and then enough rain and water washes away all the calcium components and such, just leaves behind these hairballs, loosely looking like the droppings. All that for funny. such a beautiful example of a sun-absorbing mechanism. The broad leaves of the bur oak, quite amazing. Full sun, southern exposure, just soaking it up. Almost kind of shiny in the way they reflect. And I love the green. Yeah, and these are of the white oak variety. Let's see if I can get an example of a good exposure of some red oak. Beautiful example of red oak. Southern exposure. Different shaped leaves, little tiny pins on the end of the lobes. And yeah, what a great mechanism for sucking up sunlight. So glad that we have trees. This is amazing to know what they're doing right now. Here's one gorgeous example of the thistle family, and I only point it out at this point because there is so much water in their stem right now that it makes for a really great survival resource or food. The very base of it can be very tender and almost like celery, and a lot of water and moisture in it when you chew it up can quench your thirst quite readily. So learn your thistle plants. They are awesome. Here's a tree that I haven't spoken too much of, but we do have them in the park, and that is maples. This, as you can see, kind of green on the surface facing the sun, but the wind has turned over the leaves for us, and you can see that they're very white. And that is because I believe this is a silver maple, and I'm told that that is a sign of that particular class of maple, is that the bottom sides of the leaves are very... Anyway, just had to bring that to your attention. We have little native bees here feeding on the blossoms of this smooth Solomon seal, which is very large, and when it gets big enough and puts a lot of energy into the root system, the rhizomes get much bigger and make for a better food harvest if you need them. But what attracted me was just that little bee that you saw there. He's still hanging around someplace, trying to suck up the nectar of those little pollinators. And very important. Now I gotta say something. It's been a half a minute or so. One of my favorite birds You know, a lot of them you hear their sounds and they've got quite a repertoire, but there's nothing like a catbird who can mimic so many other sounds. He seems pretty happy. Picture may not be very clear because I'm zoomed in quite a ways, but you can see he's ruffling his feathers and he's just singing up a storm this evening. I like it. The catbird. Kind of fun. Oftentimes I tell people when I'm trying to teach them about poison ivy to, if it has leaves of 3, let it be. This, however, has 3 leaves. They're about as big as my hand, and it is not poison ivy. This is Jack in the Pulpit. It's almost up to my waist in height. You can see a little remnant of the pulpit down there, but it's starting to disappear. There's another couple of sprouts on the side here, but it's very important to learn your plants, the special ones that are poisonous and the ones, of course, that are large and delicate and the ones we want to leave alone. So I think the rule still stands. Leaves of 3, let it be. And then you end up with really large, beautiful flowering plants like the Jack in the Pulpit. Okay, let's see if I can do this without too much wind. Well, calling it a day. Been out now for about an hour and a half or more, and catching a lot of wildlife, and glad you could join me. Sure appreciate all your support. Please like and subscribe, and yeah, I hope we learned a few things along the way. Always kind of fun. Sometimes I realize that getting out into the woods does a real good thing for my mind, to just give me some peace and to get away from the cares of the world. It feels much safer out here breathing this air than breathing air like in the building at work or in some grocery store or drugstore or wherever you land. Outdoors is the way to go. So get out, get dirty, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.